Bruce, you think you should have got a penalty down there on that last safety?
Yeah, well, I didn't think we should have had a penalty on the one that we got at 2 minutes, and then they had the same exact play at the other end, and we didn't get the call, so I thought they should have made a call right there. The guy wraps our guy up, he skates around, scores a winning goal. I don't know, just let it happen. That's the way I saw it anyway. I don't see any replays. I don't know.
What was your discussion with the official afterward?
It was one way. It wasn't a discussion. It was a comment or two or five.
Like the effort?
I love our effort. I thought we had the greatest effort ever. Our effort was great. We were playing hard. We played hard. We played well. You know, I don't know if we can play any better than that. It's about as good as we can go. What's that? Tell them I love them.
Bruce, you've been here and lost a couple others, a puck off a shin pad and a long shot from the point. Is this more difficult because of the circumstances?
Well, this is probably the most difficult loss I've ever had in my life right there. To get calls like that at the end of the game that weren't even calls. There's a lot of things I could say right now, a hell of a lot of things that I think, but I'm not saying them. I don't want my AD to get mad at me.
I don't know, I mean, there's a loose puck and on the half wall, and I was going to go for it, and I mean, guy had me in a headlock, and I tried to chip it out of the zone, and I mean, I couldn't even move, and the guy kept it in and rimmed around the boards, and then they got the game winner.
Bruce, with St. Thomas moving on, will this end the anger and hatred towards the cadets?
I have no hatred toward the cadets. And that's another misconception that I heard on the TV yesterday that I don't like, that the coaches don't like each other. That is just not true. That was a statement that is just not true. I have nothing against the Vanellis. They're great coaches. They do a good job with what they do. I don't buy into this private school philosophy. That's all. I don't think you should be able to get kids from Wisconsin and Missouri and all over Minnesota and make a team and play single A hockey. I just don't agree with that. I just don't believe in that. I don't think it's right. And I certainly don't think they should be in single A hockey. We've been so unbelievably fortunate to be able to be in this championship game 4 times. It's amazing, really. Small little town we have. We have 38 kids come out for our team. You know, I mean, it's just amazing that we've been doing as well as we have. And every year I think, well, we're going to be next year. And then all of a sudden these kids just rise to the occasion and play their hearts out. And you saw how they played. I mean, Christ, come on. These guys can't play any harder than that. You know, we don't have 3 first lines, you know, like they have 4. So, you know, I mean, we just can't pull guys like that. I'll tell you something else. This year, more than any other year, I had 9 parents, kids, emails that wanted to move to Hermantown and play for us. 9 of them. You know what I tell them? I tell them to stay there and play with your kids and do your best there and make everybody in your community proud. That's what I tell them. And we don't take them in. And that's the truth. And I've always had 1 or 2, you know, hey, can we come and play over there? What do you think? And these guys know a couple of them. And, of course, you know where they went. But that's just my philosophy. It's not personal to the Vel. I think they're great coaches. I think Les is a great coach. I think Brent is a friend of mine. We go duck hunt together. But we have this debate, and I don't agree with it. You know, at one time it was North versus South. That was the big deal in the 60s and 70s when I was a kid. I loved it. I coached at Cloquet, and it was great. Now it's private school versus public school, and I just don't believe in it. I don't believe that they should be able to get all these kids from wherever and then come here, you know. And we have to compete against that? I mean, come on. Plus, it kills other programs. They finally get a couple good players, off they go to a private school. And then where do they ever end up, you know? You end up with 30 good teams in Minnesota, and all the other 80 teams are feeding them, you know. I don't like it. It's just not, it doesn't feel good to me. It doesn't feel right. if that happened to us earlier when we had the Johnny Franciscos and the B.J. Radwers, and we were just starting to try to get our program getting in the right direction and having a little more success, and if those guys are pulling out and bailing out and going to Marshall or something, we'd have never been we'd have been the same old thing, you know. We'd be middle of the packer and single A all the time. But that didn't happen. I mean, those guys stayed and made us a little bit of a program. And then kids wanted to become Hawks. And now look at us. I mean, we're competing and battling well with everybody, you know. It's hard to beat them. I mean, how the hell do we do that? I don't know. We play our hearts out every time, and this is what happens. And then today, penalty like that, I mean, and non-call on the other end, makes you feel like it's you're getting homered is what it makes you feel like, but it sucks.
Jake, you guys go 4-2 late in the second. What's the feeling there? You know, it's kind of a high energy goal and getting guys excited. How'd you feel in the second intermission in the locker room?
I mean, all our guys were all excited. All three lines, we got production from all three lines, and that doesn't happen very often. And I mean, that just shows that every guy on our team, they hit the ice and everybody wanted to win, and it felt like it was our game. We controlled the majority of the game and outshot them, and our guys went to war and laid it all out there, and just final bounces didn't go our way.
Did you notice something different in the way that St. Thomas was playing in the third? Were they starting to match your energy and maybe surpass it a little bit?
I don't know. I thought our energy level was high the whole game. I can't really say much about theirs, but I know our guys were giving it their all every shift, and even after they came within one and tied it up, nothing changed with us. I mean, we just kept going, and then didn't go our way.
Bruce, your guys never seemed intimidated by St. Thomas Academy. You know, throughout the whole game, it seemed like you guys were pretty dominant against them. How proud of your guys for not being at all intimidated by that program?
I'll tell you what, I couldn't be more proud of this group of kids that we have this year, because they had it up against them last year, and a lot of guys are back, and we didn't play our best last year. We were intimidated a little bit, or gave into it at least, and we did not do that this year. From the very first drop of the puck, our kids played, and they played their hearts out, played smart, and played physical, and they did everything they had to do to win this game, you know. And but they're so damn good. I mean, they can make plays on every line, and they made a couple plays, and you know, of course, then that gets them excited, and their confidence goes up, and our kids are playing to defend a little bit more, and I mean, just part of the way it is. But then after they tied it, we attacked again, you know, and actually we had a couple great chances, and we missed the net on both of them, you know. So they had a couple great chances, they didn't miss the net, and it's kind of somehow how these things go, you know.
You had two great chances shorthanded on that weird penalty. I mean, you came down almost two great chances right.
Yeah, I mean, playing 4 guys against 5, and we're playing with just great heart. I mean, it's just unbelievable how hard these guys played.
Coach, is it fair to say, I mean, despite the philosophical differences in the program, that they bring out the best in your team when you play them?
Well, yeah, of course. You know, kids know they know they're good. You have to play your best. Same thing with Breck and Marshall, actually. So, and St. Cloud Cathedral, we played in the championship game. They're a hell of a team. You know, you didn't see them down here, but they're good. And our kids played great in that game. And yeah, anytime, I think any quality player program, and you know, you're playing against the best, it brings you up a level. I'm proud of that we can do that. Some teams don't do that. They step on the ice and they're scared of them. So, game's over.
Chris, the emotions are pretty evident on your face. Can you just describe how it is to end this way?
To be honest with you, it sucks. I've never played with a better group of 20 kids ever, and I've been on some pretty fun teams, and we were so tight, so close-knit. I mean, from our seniors, juniors, sophomores, coaches, I mean, I've never had more fun playing hockey, and to give it our all like that, and to lose, it's tough, but I can't credit our effort, our heart. We wanted it, but just couldn't get a bounce today, it seemed like.
First, I want to congratulate Hermantown. What a team. That's everything we expected, a game like that. We never thought it'd be any different than that. And it's just quite an honor to be in a game like this. I just have all the respect in the world for their team and how hard they fought and their coaching staff.
Like Bruce said, that was the worst loss he's taken in his life. The flip side of that is this is high as you've ever been after one of the cadets championships.
Yeah, I mean, I don't deserve 3 championships. I'm just fortunate to be here. I never thought I'd have one, and I'm just very, very fortunate.
Well, when you move up next year, are you going to miss all this love and affection that you get here in Class A?
Yeah, it's yeah, I'm really proud of our guys. It's tough. They had a target on their back all year, and to come through like this was really great.
You get tired of wearing the black hat all the time?
You know, we just focus on the positive things, and I can't control what other people think, and I'm just proud of our guys.
This game, I have a feeling a couple of years ago when they staked the early 3-0 lead, you guys have to battle back. Was there either some thoughts or some chatter about having to do that again today?
Yeah, we've actually mentioned that too, that, you know, this is possible. It's been done before by a St. Thomas team. And we knew the character of these guys from from this season, and we know what they're made of, and we tried to make them believe it could be done.
Is that something you said at the second?
It was, yep.
So in the third period, you seem to maybe simplify things a little bit, dump it in a little more?
No, we actually went really aggressive. We went out of our normal mode and tried to have the defense pinch and keep as much pressure as we could and play with a little more risk to try to get that break, and knowing it might give up a goal, but we were at a point where we had to be a little more desperate.
What were they able to do? I mean, you scored 23 goals in the first 2 games. What did they do to kind of keep you at bay and get that 4-2 lead?
They're just a good team. I mean, I think they did what they normally do all year probably. They're very successful. I know Novak hit a couple pipes early on, and so sometimes you don't get the bounces. And so instead of a 2-0 lead, it was 1-0, and kept the other team in the game, and they just kept working hard, and sure enough, they got their goal. So then it's a battle.
Were you at all surprised at the physicality or the intensity that Hermantown came out with?
Not really, because I know that's kind of the strategy against us. We're kind of known as a playmaking team and good skaters, and people try to take us off our game physically, and so that's just part of hockey, and I give them credit for how well they did that.
Greg, were you surprised you got the penalty there at the end, or from your vantage point, did it look like a good call?
I didn't even see it hardly, so I couldn't comment on that.
Matt, are you able to enjoy this, you and your teammates? Is it a sense of relief, with all the, shenanigans going on around, the criticisms of your club? Are you able to enjoy this type?
This is great. It's unbelievable. Honestly, there's nothing it's the best time of my life, just hanging with the team. Like, through the criticism, we don't take it to heart. We just play with each other. We have a great time. We love each other. We're brothers. It's just great. It's unbelievable. I love it.
So what's the mood in the locker room second intermission among the players? What did you guys talk about? You heard what Greg told you guys about, finding that strength to come back. What were you players talking about?
Just making sure nobody gets down. Like, we all knew we could come back. We all know we had it in us. Like, we have some of the most talented players on our team and in the state, and we knew we could do it. We just had to get out of we just needed to play our game. We knew it would come, and we just had to get everybody in a positive attitude and tell them that we would come back and win the game.
Greg, every year it seems like you have a player step up and play really big at this tournament. The young man you left here had a big game. Just your thoughts on how he played this tournament.
That's a great point, and I think as well as some teams have sophomores and things that do well, and Tommy Novak certainly had a big goal and everything, but you really have to count on your seniors in the end, and we certainly have a lot of them, and our captain, Alex Johnson, was just on fire on top of the motivating our players between periods and during the game on the bench, just doing his leadership job that he can do so well. And then Matt Perry stepped up kind of out of nowhere. I mean, he'll admit he's not our scorer typically during the year. His job was to shut down first lines, which he's done so well. And then for him to have the opportunity to score like that, I mean, he gave it all he had, and I'm just really proud of Matt. It's one of the best performances by a senior I've ever coached.
David, they came at you pretty hard in that second period, rushing the net and getting in your grill. Talk about just facing a good Hermantown team for the third straight year.
Yeah, they were coming strong the whole game. The second period, they came like the hardest probably out of any period. But yeah, I just kept trying to stay focused and keep my team in the game. Fortunately, they stepped up and kept me in the game. And the third period, we just rolled on.
You went 300+ minutes without allowing a goal at one point down the stretch here. Were you on top of it? Is this the best you've ever played between the pipes?
I felt good, but I think my team's just been playing solid defense. The defense and forwards, everyone around, just doing the things right, and I think that's what really allowed for me to accomplish that goal.
As you move on, do you think the anger and the hatred for St. Thomas is going to subside? Is it over? Are you hopeful of that?
Well, if it was about A-double-A thing, I guess it would be. I think in Minnesota, there's always a thing about private and public schools, I guess, and that doesn't go away. So, but my job as a teacher at St. Thomas and as a coach is just to make a good experience for young guys and young kids, and that's all I focus on.
Matt, how big was that goal in the third, right away in the third period? You said you needed to come off a positive attitude, and you got it.
I think it really lifted the team. Was just what we needed. It really lifted the spirits and got everyone into it. As you saw, Henry Hart had a big goal after. It was incredible. It was exactly what we needed. Just lucky bounce off a good nice shot from my line mate.
What do you have to say to the Hermantown student section?
I didn't say anything. They had some things to say to me. I don't know what to say less.
You guys seniors that are on your way out, you see a guy like Tommy coming up. Do we even know where the ceiling is on a guy like that?
He's quite a player, being just a sophomore. There's a lot of sophomores that are doing they're really good this year, so they should be good coming up.
His limits are endless. If he keeps working as hard as he does, he can do anything. Honestly, he's very talented.
Matt, was there a magic moment in the third period where you kind of felt that your club seized the moment, seized the momentum, and there was no turning back?
I felt that definitely in the third period after we got that first goal in that third period or bring it back to a 1-goal game, that our team was definitely seizing the moment and just playing our best hockey and just playing to win at that time.
And I think the earlier you score, obviously you have more time to get the next one. So I think as a team, it felt good to have a lot of minutes left to still try to get that next one, versus being down and scoring with 3 minutes left and then trying to get the one with, in that time period. So that was huge.
Matt, I thought that your first goal, the goalie lost his stick. And did you see an opening there? You kind of just had to wedge it in. Remember that?
Goalie drops his stick. Did you know he drops his stick?
He made a great save and knocked his stick away, and then you came back out and wedged the puck in between him and the post. I don't know if you were aware he was on a stick or
I was
just
not
kind
aware.
of groveling there, and I wondered if you remembered the hole there or just fought to get it in.
I wasn't aware he didn't have a stick. I had a rebound and I couldn't get the rebound, so behind the net, and luckily I got a nice pass, and I just was trying to get anything on net because we were just around the net and they were scrambling. Luckily got to bounce around him somehow. Wasn't worried, didn't have a stick.
Well, if it's true what your coach said, that you're not really a scorer, this must have been heaven for you. Every rebound came to you, things came to you, everything looked like a goal scorer to me.